Hello everyone, it is princess_mini4 and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, please make sure you hit that notification bell and hit the subscribe button so you never miss a post. So peep the haircut. Anyway, in today's video, this is something I just like brainstormed in the middle of the night. I kind of want to do a college tips for freshmen. So if you guys don't know, I am finally considered a senior in college. It said it on my thing. I'm a senior. This is my 4th fall semester and my last, unless I decide to go back and get my master's, which I highly doubt because that's more money and more time in school. So yeah. But yeah, this is my 4th fall semester, which means that I am a senior and I have my first day of fall semester, but then again, you have another first day of your spring semester. So I don't know. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little tips for college freshmen. So if you are a if you are a freshman going into college, this video is for you. This video could also be for transfer students, and I guess you could also use it for high school too, but probably really not. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. So I want to do a little disclaimer. I am very extra about certain things. If you are not, you can just skip past that part of the video. I am like very planner oriented, very routine. A lot of people are not like that, but you need to find something that works for you. If you are a person that is a very big planner, then that's good, but it's also good if you're not a very big planner. Some people like spontaneous things but I'm just saying you need to find something that works for you because it would make life easier. So first thing I wrote down, I made my little list. I wrote down prepare. So you need to prepare for college. And I know this is it's already September. So you could probably use this video if you're starting school next year. But you need to prepare before you go to college. And when I say prepare, I mean you need to prepare like school supplies. You need to prepare if you're going to live on campus, if you're going to stay at home, if you're going to go to a community college or university. You need to prepare like what classes you want to pick out, all that kind of stuff. And you can even set semester goals if you're goal oriented. If you're not, then don't worry about that. But the big thing to do is to prepare. Obviously, like I said, the first things you want to do is pick if you're going to go to a community college first or a university, or just go straight to university. I myself went to community college for 2 years, then I transferred to university. I would definitely say it worked best for me because I know some people in my family were like, oh, you should go to university, you can meet people, meet lifelong friends. But I was struggling with things at the time when I first started applying for college. I just lost my dad to cancer. I did not want to be away from family at that time. You know what I'm saying? You have to do what's best for you. If you feel like you're ready to go to university, ready to live on campus, go ahead and do that. I was not ready for that. And I'm glad I did it this way because for one, it's a lot less money to go to a community college. You're paying let's say $3,000 for 5 classes opposed to paying $10,000 for 5 classes at a university. There's a big difference. And if you're like me and you don't know what you want to do yet, community college is your best bet because you can, like I said, it's not as I don't know how to explain it. It's easier. They're usually closer proximity. You don't have to live on campus. So it's just you can just kind of go back and forth. And like I said, the big thing is it's a lot less money to go to a community college. So that would be your first step, is to pick which one you're going to do. I personally, like I said, I went to community college and then I transferred, and I do think it was the best thing I've done for me. But like I said, you have to figure that out for yourself. So the next thing after that, let's just say you pick to go to a university. Then you have to figure out if you're going to live on campus or not. You can go to a university and not live on campus. That's what I'm doing now. I'll be commuting. So you have to figure out, do you want to commute back and forth, sometimes several times a day, depending on how your classes are? I'll talk about classes in a second. Or do you want to live on campus? Because yeah, there's a big difference in money, and there's a lot of things. When you're living on campus, you're pretty much moving into your own little apartment, or even if you are living on the freshman dorm, because they're generally different because they have a shared bathroom, and they also have usually there's more people in a room. So it just kind of depends on what you want to do. Once you make these big decisions, everything is just kind of coast. Another thing you should do, which you don't have to do, because here I am, a senior in college, and I still don't know what I want to do in my life, but it is good to get some kind of general idea of a major, because yeah, I mean, when you're a freshman and a sophomore, you can pick undecided. So that's good for you. And then you can kind of just pick a variety of classes, and you can be like, you know what, I really like that art class. I want to major in art. But you should still kind of have some kind of idea of what major you want to pick, because then your classes are easy. They fall into place. So next up, we're going to talk about classes. Do not wait to the last minute. I can say myself, I am a very big planner, very big routine. I have never waited to last minute. But around this time of year, I start watching first day of college videos, and I cannot tell you how many videos I've seen of people waiting till the week before classes start and they registering for classes then. That is the worst thing you can do. Colleges are packed full. Everybody's going to college. The last thing you want to do is get the remaining of classes. Because even though I'm a senior, it took me forever. The last time I registered, which was in April, I couldn't register till a week after everybody else registered. So yeah, I got bad classes then too. Trust me, the classes I have this fall semester are not ones that I really picked, except for one. I had to take a research class, and then I ended up taking this sociology class because there was no other classes. So it's like, if you can register at 9 a.m. on like September 5th, be up at 8 o'clock so you can make sure that you're going to register. You want to get the best classes. You want to get classes that are good for you, good for your major, and that you're going to like. You don't want the remaining of classes. So make sure you pick out your classes immediately, because they will be gone and you'll be having that 7 o'clock class that you don't even like. But it's like sometimes you just need classes because you already paid. So yeah. So now when it comes to school supplies, if you're a planner oriented person like me, you would get a planner. So whatever type of planner you want, there are a million on Amazon, there's a million in Target, there's a million in Walmart. You go there and you look through the planners and you pick out which one you want. I personally like academic planners for school, but when it comes to my personal life, I like the ones by Clever Fox because they're undated, so I can date them whenever. If I want to start my planner in December, I can. But when it comes to school, I like the academic planners. So it just kind of depends on you and how aesthetic you want to be. You can sit there and get color coded. Y'all can look stuff up on Pinterest. I use Pinterest for a lot of things. You can use Pinterest to see how people color code their planner. They have like certain colors for different classes. That's what I've done. I've also done different colors for like homework, different colors for tests, quiz, finals, deadlines, all of that. Y'all can do that if y'all want to. But yeah, this is for people who are planner oriented. If you are planner oriented and you don't want the planner book, you can get those big desk calendars. I can't move my arms too much yet. Big desk calendars, and you can write it right there and it's always on your desk. So that's a good thing as well. Another thing you do is get those whiteboards. Those are very good for when you're in college, those little calendar whiteboards. It just all depends up to you. If you're not planner oriented, then I don't really know how to make sure you get your work done if you're not writing it down, but everybody's different. But I feel like everybody needs a planner, regardless of if you're planner oriented or not. I feel like you need a planner, because how are you going to remember that? Because most professors are going to give you, good professors, I would say, and this is my opinion, they're going to give you all the work up front, and then you go through and you write down when you're going to do the work. I like professors that at the beginning of the semester on the syllabus, they give you everything that is due from up to the final. I'd rather have a teacher like that than for them to just release work every week. I have a controlling problem. I just want to know when everything is due and stuff like that. And I also like to work ahead. But I just feel like having a planner is really one of the first things you should get when it comes to school. Now, for school supplies, college is not the same as high school or middle school or whatever. You're not going to get a list, and you're not going to need as much stuff as you did then. Most college students can get by with a computer, and that is it. It really all depends on you. I have my Microsoft Surface tablet, whatever it's called. It works for me. I charge it up. I bring it to school. I type my notes, and then I also come home and I'll write my notes in class, then come home and type it, or I'll type it and come home and write it, because I feel like if you write it twice, you memorize it more, so it's good for studying. But I have that. I have my planner. I also will be bringing some highlighters. So if I have to highlight something, then I also have pens and pencils, and obviously some notebooks. That's really all you need. Like, when you're going back to school, you need like color pencils, crayons. You don't need all that when you're going to college. And depending on the class, if your teacher says you need that textbook, you'll have to bring your textbook. But you really don't need much. Another thing, it's just kind of up to you. If you want to handwrite your notes, you probably don't need your computer, because most teachers don't most professors are going to realize that everybody doesn't have money to already pay $8K or $10K for classes and have enough money to buy a laptop. So they're not going to force you to have a laptop. They're usually okay with you having a notebook and a pencil. So the bare minimum is good. Another thing you should prepare for, I already mentioned, set semester goals. If you're goal oriented, that's good for you. Say, I want to pass all my classes with a B. Then you can do your semester goals. But if you're not like that, you don't have to do that. Another thing that is kind of fun, I would say, is to pick out your first day of school outfit. And I know it's like, we're in college, you're not going to school, who cares? But it's like, honestly, I'm going to tell you one thing. When you start going to college, you are going to realize that people wear anything. People will roll out of bed, put their book bag on, and go to school. They're going to be wearing their pajamas. They're going to be wearing anything. They're going to be looking bummy, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, at the end of the day, we're all going there to get this degree. We're not going there. Like, I feel like when you get to college, you don't really care about your appearance as much as you did in high school. So you wear whatever. But I like to pick out a first day of classes outfit just because it just gives me something to look forward to. It just gives you a good mindset. But that is completely up to you. So another big thing, which you should already have heard of, is time management. Time management is very important in college and in the real world. So if you're that kind of person that, you know, wants to party in college, which I am not judging, it's just not me. I stayed in my dorm all the time. But if you want to party in college, you got to make sure you get that work done the next day. It's not, you are still allowed to have fun and you are still allowed to have a life, but you need to be able to time management. You could say, I'm going to come home from my classes, do my homework for 30 minutes, and then go out. You need to be able to time management because there's still work to be done. And the difference between high school and college is that you're going to have some high school teachers that are really on you. Like, hey, you got to submit that work. You got to submit that work. You will have a college professor that will never remind you of any work that's due. Majority of my college professors never remind you. If you don't get that work done, it's a 0. They don't remind you, say, oh, by the way, the work is done. I mean, the work is due in a few days. By the way, you know, your final is coming up. They're not going to do that because, like, you're an adult. They don't, not that they don't care. They just feel like you should know. So it's like, you got to be able to manage your time. And when it comes with that, you need to pick out the best time classes for you. If you're like me and you're a morning person and you like to get your stuff done in the morning, pick that 8 a.m. But if you want to sleep in, you can pick that. And they have, like, my class is like, I mean, my school has 8 a.m. And I think they have 9:30, you know. So pick whatever classes work for you. If you really don't want to go until 2, you can pick that 2 o'clock. They even have, like I said, 7 and 8 o'clock classes. They have Saturday classes. Most colleges are going to work with you because a lot of people are going to college having 5 kids or working 2 jobs or coming from any walk of life. So there are plenty of classes and plenty of different times of classes. Like, there could be like 5 of the same class, just different times and different days. Like, they'll have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Monday, Wednesday, or a Tuesday and Thursday, or a Saturday. Saturday classes, I feel like, are usually longer, but if that's what works for you, that's what works for you. You have to really realize what time of classes works best for you. Then another thing is, it goes under the same thing, is to schedule out, if you're a scheduler, or just in general, schedule out what time you want to get your homework done, what time you want to study. And obviously the most important part, I guess you could say, is what time you want to have fun, what time you want to come back and relax and watch your Netflix or, you know, play your games or just watch TV. Just because you're in college, it does not mean that you can't have fun, and it does not mean that you can't have a life. Do not let college run over your life because you will burn out quick. You need to have time to watch your YouTube videos or do anything. So that's why time management is very important. So I wanted to do a little section of school versus college. I kind of went over this a little bit, but when you're in school, most teachers, I can say, care a lot more than they do when you get to college. And this is not for every college. This is just from what I've realized, is that when you're in high school, like I said, teachers generally care, at least the ones I've had. Like I said, this is not everybody's experience, but I've had a lot of teachers that generally cared about you. Like, if you said, you know, I'm not feeling good, they're like, okay, cool, you know. And you're going to get some professors that are like that in college. I had a very good professor when I first transferred. He was my Bible teacher, and he was very sweet, very caring, very, you know, loving. He would always check on me when I got COVID, and he made sure that he changed the final up and that he was able to reschedule the final. And then you're going to have professors that do not care. You're going to have a professor that does not care that you're sick. They don't care that your family member just passed away. So you really, there's a big difference. I feel like in high school it's a bit different. I feel like majority of my teachers in high school were there and kind of more cared, and then you get to certain, like I had a professor from my summer class that just did not care. You know, like you would email things and say you marked this wrong, they're like, oh well, you know. So it's like you're gonna start to realize that it's a big difference coming from high school going to college, because some of them really just don't care. And you're also gonna have some professors that never know your name. I had a sexuality class that had like about 100 students. She never known anybody's name. Every time she called on someone, she had to ask their name. And then think about it, she called on that same person in the same class, she never remembered your name. And that's life. There's 100 students, it makes sense. But I feel like in high school, you're not gonna have 100 students in one class. You may have like the most at like 30. But think about it, in high school, they did attendance every day. They don't do attendance in college. You show up, you do. If you don't, they don't care. At the end of the day, it's up to you. They don't care if you don't show up. They don't care if you don't do your homework. At the end of the day, it's your life. You're an adult now. You need to make sure that you're getting your stuff together. So you're going to realize that it's not the same. Like in high school, if you didn't go to school for a long time, or just school in general, they're going to call home. You think they care in college? All they're going to do is write it down in their little book, and your financial aid is going to get taken away if you have it, and you're just going to fail the class. And you don't want to fail classes in college. If you fail a class in high school, you'll have to retake it, but it's free. You fail a class in college, you have to pay for that to retake that class. Don't fail a class in college. It's just not worth it, like money wise. And another thing, obviously one of the big things that I think is a really good thing, in high school you're there for 8 hours a day. In college you could have, like I said, I have 3 classes this semester. 1 is in person and 2 are online. I'm driving all the way down to college for a 10:30 to 12:20 class twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. It is such a good thing to me, because like I be sitting here thinking, how in the world did I go through high school sitting in school for 8 hours? Now I go there and I have 1 class. So that's a very good thing, I think, but I guess it all depends on you. Okay, so I have this thing I wrote, don't buy textbooks. Take this from me, I have bought a lot of textbooks just to donate them. Don't buy textbooks. So they have free online websites that have certain textbooks that you can use them online. Like I said, if you have a teacher that says bring the textbook to class, you're always going to have that one professor. It is what it is. But try to rent it. Try to rent that textbook. So it's going to be at least half the price, and you don't have to keep it. Because who wants to keep a textbook of one class you took in your freshman year? Nobody wants to keep that textbook forever. So if you can't get it online and get a free one, then try to rent it so you can send it back. Just make sure you send it back. If not, you're going to have to pay for full price. So you might as well have just bought it, you know. But these are the 2 websites. There's a lot of websites. You can Google around and look for it. But this one is called freetextbooks.com. Then there's also Feed Your Brain. I will insert it on here. Feedyourbrain.com. So another thing, so apps for college. College is not always that easy, so I'm glad that there are a few apps that you can use that I think majority of them are free. So that's the good thing, because college students don't really be having money. So I'm glad that people are finally coming out with this thing. So the first one I'm gonna talk about is Photomath. So Photomath, it gives you the answers, but it also gives you the steps. When you sit there and you're working on a math problem for hours, use Photomath. It's not always on there. I can speak from you know, what I've actually dealt with. All of them are not always on there, and if they are on there, they're not always right. But for the most part, you will get a right answer on there. And regardless of getting the answer, it gives you the steps to the equation, so you're able to figure it out the next time. And then another math one is called Mathway. It's the same thing. It's going to give you the answer, but it's also going to teach you how to do it. So that's the good thing. And also, if you're really struggling and you just need the answers, get the answers. It's like, at the end of the day, it's homework. It's not going to, like I said, when you get your job in, you know, 5 years, they are not going to be like, it's not going to be the exact same equation unless you're a math teacher. So yeah. We have Grammarly. Grammarly is not all free, but the parts that are free, it does fix your mistakes if you're writing an essay. College, you're going to be writing a lot of essays, a lot of papers. I wrote a 20-page paper in like my sophomore year of college, so get used to writing papers. If you hate writing, I understand, but Grammarly is going to help fix your mistakes. Also with stuff like that, Google, if you use Google Docs fix your mistakes for free. And well, I have Microsoft. Microsoft is not free. I just took $102, so it's not free, but it depends on, I guess, how you want. And another thing about Grammarly, which is kind of good, it has a plagiarism finder. So the problem I had with my teacher over the summer, they always was saying that I was plagiarizing, but I really wasn't. But that's besides the point. I reached out to them and they said they don't care. So like I said, that's how it is with professors. But Grammarly has a free plagiarism finder. You can insert your entire thing in there and it's going to tell you if you plagiarized. So that's a good thing, especially if you had a teacher like I do. Quizlet. Everybody should know about Quizlet. Come on now. But Quizlet is great for studying and it's great for finding answers, but it's also great for studying because you can make them into little flashcards. They have like practice tests. They have like games. So if you're a person that needs to study like that, that's good too. So you can play the game. You can do the little mock test. I think that's really good. It actually helped me quite a lot in high school. I can say that. Then that is it for the apps. All right, so here are my last little bits of advice. Take notes and study. Don't be like me. I have a very hard time focusing when it comes to studying because anything in the world is more interesting than studying. I could stare out a window at nothing and it's going to be more interesting than studying. But please study. Please take it from me and study. You are going to realize that you do a whole lot better if you study. And like I said, go on Pinterest and find different ways to study, because that's what I've done and I'm gonna be using them this semester. And same thing with finding ways of how to take notes. If you, like I said, if you feel like you need your notes to be pretty for you to be able to read them and study them, do that. You can go to the dollar store and get highlighters. Like, you don't have to always get them expensive little aesthetic ones you see on Amazon or whatever. You can go to the dollar store and get it, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to taking notes, it is sometimes hard to take notes, especially in college, because I stopped taking notes in my first semester of my university because my professor would sit there and have 100 PowerPoint thing and would go over it in one class. It is sometimes hard to realize what you should write notes on. It is very hard to do that. And I think me being in school, I've been in school since I was like 4 years old, you guys. I am about to be 22. It is not easy to find out how to take notes, and I still don't know now. So it just really all depends. And most good professors are going to, when you get home, they don't want to do it before class. They want people to show up to class, but they will release the stuff that they went over in class. So sometimes I would just come home and just take the notes at home, because at least then you're not rushed. Because oh my goodness, professors sometimes be rushing the notes. It'd be, like I said, 100 PowerPoints, but they have to get it done in an hour and a half. So it's like they're rushing through it, obviously, but it's like you have to forget that there are 100 students behind you trying to write down the notes. So like I said, a good professor is going to release the notes. A great professor is going to release the notes beforehand so you can read it before class. But a lot of professors don't want to do that because they be like, well, if we do that, they're not going to show up to class, which probably. But yeah, take it from me. Take notes and study. It's going to help you a lot. Another thing, do your homework. Like I said, I watch these videos every year before school. A lot of these people I watch don't do their homework. What is the point of paying all this money for a class and just not doing your homework? I don't understand it. Yeah, it may be hard. Yeah, it may be boring. Yeah, you may procrastinate. So, you know what I'm saying? Do your homework. It's easier, and it helps your grade. Obviously, it's not going to help as much as, you know, the tests and the quizzes, but believe it or not, a lot of the stuff that your homework is on is going to help you on your test and your quiz and your final. And it's just like, you want your professor to work with you. And if you don't do your homework and you don't show up to class, that professor is not going to care about you. If you show determination and you show that you want to work and you want to do well in the class, you can fail a couple quizzes because that professor will work with you. I've had that happen to me. I'll be struggling and he was like, look, show up to class after this, blah, blah, and I will work with you. You have to show that you care. If you show that you don't care, that professor shouldn't care either. I'm with them on that. If you come to my class and you don't care, you don't show up, I'm not going to help you. You sit there and fail. That's you, you know. But just do your homework. Come on now. It's too easy. You've been doing homework all your life in school. What's the difference when you get to college? I know there's so many things you could be doing. Just take an hour to do some homework. There are 24 hours in a day. Take some time to do your homework. It's just common sense, to be honest. I feel like that really shouldn't be a tip, but you know. And the last thing I'm going to say is, if you need help, college is not easy. I've been in college for 4 years. It is not easy. It is very hard. And coming from a person, like I said, who doesn't really have help in the family, because things are different now than when my grandmother was younger, when my dad was younger. My dad couldn't help me when I was in high school with work. There are tutors, and majority of the tutors are free. Every school needs to have a tutoring program. I have not gone to tutoring, but I've also never really had that many problems. But if I do have problems, I know that my school has tutoring, and you can meet with the tutor. You can have that tutor meet you at certain times, certain places. Please take advantage of that. Because you go to that college, because you pay all that money to go to that college, they have to give you free tutoring. And if you need mental help, they have to have a therapist on campus, and it's free. Please take advantage of these free things, please. And there's also certain, like, where it'll be like a tutoring class, or it'll be like this, like, not just one person. If you're like intimidated to be one-on-one with somebody, there will be like times where it's like a tutoring like group. Just take advantage of these free things. And obviously look at your college's website and talk to your advisor. These are just little tips that are important. Please talk to your advisor. Always go with your advisor. I know I'm on track to graduate, and I know what classes I have to take. I still have meetings with my advisor, because it's just important to, like you said, show that you care, and to sometimes you may be wrong. So it is good to have an advisor, because everybody has to have an advisor. This is the good thing about college. Everybody has to have an advisor. He or she is not going to always make appointments with you. You have to take that step to make that appointment, but it is very important to do so. So yeah, these are all my tips and stuff for college. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. One more thing I will throw out there. Use Google Calendar. If you have a Google account, which most people do, it is free, and you can hook it up so it comes on your phone. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed these tips for college freshmen. This is just coming from a senior in college and a person that has struggled, especially as a freshman. I struggled really horrible during my first fall semester, and I ended up getting a D in the class because I did not step up, and I did not ask for help, and I didn't study, and I didn't, but I just kind of just did nothing. It is hard going to college, but yeah, I need to hurry up. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Turn the notification bell to know when I post, and share the video with your friends. And I will see you guys in my next college video. Bye guys, love you, and good luck in college.